Well, the gun grabbers are launching their attack in Harrisburg. Folks, welcome into this live stream. Christ is King. I am Chris Dorr, the director here for the Pennsylvania Firearms Association. And we are being told, we are hearing rumors all over the place that the Democrats, the gun-grabbing communist, hate America, totally okay with political violence against their enemies, Democrats are launching a gun control push coming up this week or next week on Monday. And we're going to talk all about it in this live stream. First of all, a couple of housekeeping things, folks. Like and subscribe to this channel if you like to be aware of what's going on in Pennsylvania when it comes to gun politics. We focus very much on the Second Amendment, what's happening in Harrisburg, and what bills our members in Congress are working on in D.C. So like and subscribe if you guys like that kind of content. Also, let me know in the comment section where you guys are checking in from. That helps our algorithm, lets these videos get seen by a whole lot more people. But let's jump into it right away, folks. There are at least 3 bills that we are hearing about right now that are likely coming up in the House Judiciary Committee next Monday. Now, a little bit of political context here. Obviously, we've got Democrat, communist, gun-grabbing, lunatic Governor Josh Shapiro in the governor's mansion. He will sign any piece of gun control that comes before him. Obviously, we also have a Democrat, one-seat Democrat majority in the House of Representatives. Okay, and we have one Republican, we have one Democrat, Frank Burns, who says he's pro-gun, but votes to install the Democrat gun-grabbing communist Joanna McClinton as Speaker of the House. So we've got a very slim majority over there, but we have got a real problem in the House as well. We have 9 Republicans in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives that have previously voted with the gun grabbers on gun control bills. So this is a very dangerous position. Hello, Nicole, checking in from Franklin County. Thank you so much, Nicole. So we have a dangerous situation on our hands. We have a Democrat House over here, Democrat-controlled House, and then over on the Senate side, we have a essentially two-seat with Republican majority over there. Where they only need to flip 2 Republicans in order to get gun control bills passed through the Pennsylvania Senate. So this is an all-hands-on-deck situation. Of course, the gun-grabbing communist Democrats are launching this now very deliberately. They want to go after some of these weak Republicans, and this is all a precursor to try to get these people in their target sites, in their sites, their political sites, hopefully not physical sites. We know these lefties condone this political violence. This is all a precursor to their ramp up for the 2026 elections here in Pennsylvania, where they have absolutely every intention of flipping the Pennsylvania Senate, increasing their majority in the Pennsylvania House, and totally doing to us in Pennsylvania what they've done to gun owners in New York, Illinois, California, Oregon, Washington, in all these places where they've passed total gun control, with going so far as to pass AR-15 bans and red flag gun confiscation. Let's get into the 3 bills that we know are going to come up on for discussion in the Judiciary Committee. Now, here's another thing. We don't know if it's going to be a judiciary hearing or a judiciary vote. A lot of times they don't put this stuff up until the very last minute, usually the day of. Then they like to jerry the rules, go right to voting, and give we the people, no input whatsoever to voice our opposition to this stuff. So here's the 3 bills that we know are going to come up, and I'm going to drop in the comment section right now a series of email links for you guys to contact the members of the committee, and then you're also your own state representative to urge them to vote no on all of this stuff. So let me drop the first one in the comment section for you guys. There you go. This one goes to the entire Judiciary Committee that's going to be hearing all of these gun control bills on next Monday. And so you guys can click on that link. We're urging you guys to do that, to fire off your emails to these state representatives and urge them to vote no. The Democrats have the vote to get the votes to get this out of the Judiciary Committee. Chairman Riggs, I think I have that right. Pudgy guy. I confronted him one time in the hallway. Chairman Riggs has the votes to get this thing across the line, but we want to put up a fight at every single turn and make it as politically painful for these bastards to pass this stuff as possible. So right there, you guys can see that one goes to every member of the Judiciary Committee and urges them to vote no on all of the gun control bills that they're going to be considering. Now, here's another one I'm going to drop in there real quick. These are all pre-written email campaigns. We're done with the petitions now. We are moved on to the direct email communications with your state representatives and the members of the Judiciary Committee. This one I just dropped in there right now is in opposition to red flag gun confiscation. We have been fighting this fight now in Pennsylvania for many years. We first started, I think, in 2018, trying to stop this red flag gun confiscation. Let me explain this one really quickly. Red flag gun confiscation is probably the most dangerous gun control bill that they're trying to pass in Harrisburg right now because it has so much rhino support. When they passed red flag gun confiscation in Florida, for example, it had tremendous rhino support. When they passed it in Indiana, I think Indiana was one of the first states to pass it, it had Republican support. The reason why so many of these rhinos are so attracted to voting for this gun control is because they don't understand due process rights. Okay? In America, you're not supposed to lose your Second Amendment freedoms until you've been charged, tried, and convicted of a crime by a jury of your peers. And yet what this bill does, what red flag gun confiscation does, is it allows anybody to go and petition a judge to have your gun rights stripped away from you without you ever being charged, tried, or convicted of a crime. In fact, you have a lot more legal rights at your disposal if you get a traffic ticket than if you are accused or if somebody files one of these red flag orders against you. Now, the rhinos are tempted to sit there and say, oh, there's due process because under this law, you are allowed to come in and convince the judge that you weren't a threat to your safety or somebody else's safety. And if you can prove to them that you didn't ever intend to truly commit a crime, in other words, if you can prove a double negative, you get your guns back. That's not due process. That's total sheer tyranny. It's the destruction of our legal system here in America, especially when it comes to gun owners. So that is the biggest threat right now because there's at least 2 Republicans in the Pennsylvania Senate, which is the firewall now, who would vote for that if this bill gets onto the floor. So that's the first one. I've dropped a link in the comment section. I'm urging you guys to click on that and fire off an email to your state senator and your state representative to vote no on red flag gun confiscation. The second big gun control bill, I'm going to drop this link in the comment section right now, that they're going to be talking about and hearing, possibly voting on in the Pennsylvania House Judiciary Committee on Monday of next week, is statewide gun registration. This is Bloomberg's #1 gun control agenda item. Okay, how do I say this? A totally tyrannical government can only confiscate guns from people where they know they are. Okay, so what this bill does is it outlaws the private sale of firearms between free individuals totally and completely, unless it is run into the NCIC NICS database so that the ATF can track, trace, and register every firearm transaction and every firearm owner like you are a sex offender. That's what this bill does. It's all about outlawing the private sale of firearms between free individuals. Now, I don't really know a better way of describing that other than we don't trust government when they compile lists of free citizens, of gun owners. If you just look back at the 20th century alone, governments, not thugs, not gangbangers and criminals, governments were the largest genociders against innocent citizens of anybody. Okay. By conservative estimates, a minimum of 45 million people were murdered by their own governments in the 20th century alone because their citizens did not have the tools, the firearms necessary to defend themselves. The Second Amendment is, and I know this sounds cliche, but after watching Charlie Kirk get murdered, after watching these innocent people get that beautiful girl get murdered on that train down in North Carolina, after watching those two Christian kids get murdered in Minnesota 2 weeks ago, after watching all of this madness, the idea of just simply giving the government a list of every gun and gun owner in the state, which would grow larger and larger over time, is absolutely preposterous. The Second Amendment, I know people that you hardly ever hear this from the politicians, but the Second Amendment is a restriction on government, not we the people. And we truly believe that here at the Pennsylvania Firearms Association, which is why we have a link right there in the comment section asking you folks to contact the members of the House Judiciary Committee to tell them to vote no on all of these gun control bills. The third one, and I don't have a link for it, sadly, at the moment, but we think there will be a third gun control bill that's going to be heard at a minimum on Monday of next week, which is what they call the ghost gun ban. They want to outlaw the private manufacturing of firearms in America. And it's really preposterous when you think about it. Number one, again, the Second Amendment is a restriction on government. Number two, we have a country because of Pennsylvania private firearms manufacturers. Here in Lancaster County, the Pennsylvania rifle, the birthplace of the Pennsylvania rifle, was one of the most instrumental pieces of weaponry that was used by the Continental Army. And it was not made in great big government manufacturing centers. It wasn't made by military industrial complex contractors. It wasn't made. No, it was private citizens who took the skills that they had from their mentors or from coming over from England and some of these other places. They designed these long range Pennsylvania rifles, and that's how we have a country. That's how we have a nation today, is because of the private manufacturing of arms by we the people. And yet the communist, leftist, Democrat, hate America, love political violence, love physical violence against their opposition Democrats. They want to ban 3D printing, making stuff on your homemade lathe. They want to ban all of this stuff. They want to make it a crime so that they can send in their jackbooted thugs and arrest you if they can prove that you're an opponent of theirs. That's what all of this stuff is about. It's never been about stopping. It's never been about stopping violent crime. If they wanted to do that, they could simply stop releasing them, like Larry Krasner does over in Philadelphia, from their prisons. If they wanted to stop violent crime, they would bring back the death penalty and put rapists and murderers and kidnappers to death for capital offenses like that. If they wanted to, and we are total full-blown evangelical Christians here at the Pennsylvania Firearms Association. So if the radical left communist Democrats wanted to stop violent crime, they could stop aborting little babies in the womb. They could stop doing those things, but it's not about that. It's never been about that. It's totally about control. That's what drives their motives. That's the ultimate objective for them, is total, pure political power. That's why they're putting these bills into the committee on Monday of next week, very likely on Monday of next week, so that they can keep pushing the ball down the field to try to score their ultimate agenda, which is your disarmament and their total political power. Turns out that AR-15s, and I guarantee this is going to be one of the bills that gets talked about on Monday of next week. It turns out that that AR-15s are excellent tools to tell tyrant thugs, no, F you, no, we're not going to do that. They know this. And that's why they're working all the time to pass these bills, push the agenda, try to get Republicans to cave, go into these tight districts and try to get these people on the wrong side. If they can get these bills on the floor and force these Republicans to cave, and that's what they're going to, I know they're going to try to do this. There people like Valerie Gatos. There's a whole list of them. The next video we do, I will talk about the 9 Republicans that we need to put a lot of attention on and a lot of political pressure on. If they can convince these Republican rhinos to break ranks, join the violent Democrat left and vote yes on this gun control, they want to do that to try to destroy the morale in a lot of these political districts. And you know what? By doing that, they don't. The rhinos don't buy political cover. What the rhinos self-inflict. Just ask former Representative Todd Stevens. When the rhinos cross over, when they break ranks, when they violate their oath to the Constitution and vote for this gun control, what they do is they destroy their base vote. They destroy the Second Amendment vote in their own districts. And the Democrats, the violent Democrat left, the hate America, shoot Charlie Kirk Democrat left knows this, and that's why they're trying to run these political plays right now. So please contact your the Judiciary Committee, and that's let me see, I already dropped that one up there, but this one right here allows you to email the committee about all 3 of these gun bills. So here, I'll pop that up on the screen right now. You guys can see that. It's just easier to go into the comment section and click on that link. As you guys will see, if you click on these links, all of these email messages are editable. So this is like the framework. You guys can click on it, fill out your information. Once you do that, you'll be brought to the page before you click send. You guys can jump into that email. You can edit it or modify it however you'd like to, so that maybe it's your own words. Maybe you have something else you want to say to them. I don't blame you. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about with these people right now. There's a lot going on in this country, so you might want to do that. I don't blame you one bit, but you're more than welcome to do that. We encourage you guys to do that. That's what Pennsylvania Firearms Association is all about. Is about making sure that you guys have the tools to lobby on your own behalf. That's what the Pennsylvania Firearms Association, we're good at it. We're good at it. That's what this is all about. So folks, please contact these members right away. I'll have more information about this in the next coming days as we lead up to this committee action on next week. Today is the 16th, I think, right? Yeah, today is Tuesday the 16th. So this would be Monday the 22nd. That's when they will likely have these gun control bills in the House Judiciary Committee. And we'll be doing a lot of videos in between now and then to draw awareness to this, to explain the bills, and to ask people to get fired up. And I didn't prep for this at all, but when you think about what's happened in the last 3 weeks, let's just go back 3 weeks. When you think about what's happened in the last 3 weeks, I've always known, anybody who studies history, anybody who studies the pattern of communism, everybody who has done that knows that political violence is always a tactic of the radical left. But for them to murder, for them to foment the hatred and and for them to prey on the minds of the evangelical leftists that they've created with their systems, with their institutions, with their education system, with their indoctrination system, for them to like foment that stuff and just ram it down everybody's their most radical followers' throats, that people like us, people like you and me, are the total enemy. For them to then, for one of these monsters to then go to the guy who's a lot better guy than I am. He certainly had more patience with these people. For them to go and murder him in cold blood right in front of the entire world, it was a huge wake-up call to everybody, because everybody could finally see with their own eyes, this is what they think about me. If they're willing to do that to Charlie Kirk, who is big and public and a public figure that everybody knows, they would absolutely do it to you and me, who have no even comparable platform to fight back against them with. This is what they do. So yeah, I totally agree with what Troy just said here. He said killing Charlie Kirk is on the same level of killing a baby. Yeah. And I've said it before in private conversations. Again, we're a Christian organization here at the Pennsylvania Firearms Association, but it's no shock that a party that has made the killing of the unborn like their number one thing that they stand for, it's no reason, it's no shock that these people who are totally fine with the murder of the unborn are gloating and relishing the murder of Charlie Kirk. But I think we have some reason to be hopeful. I see a lot of people waking up that were not even aware there was a political fight going on, and certainly not partaking in it. So that's what we're excited about here at the Pennsylvania Firearms Association. If there is anything good to see out there right now in reaction to these last 3 weeks of political violence against Christian Americans, heritage American Christians like us, whose forefathers built this country, it's that people are starting to wake up. So thanks a lot for watching, folks. We'll be there on Monday at this committee hearing. We'll be doing videos in between now and then to bring you guys up to speed on everything that's happening. Also, I'll have an action link tomorrow in opposition to the homemade firearms ban that they're trying to pass. And we'll also be talking a lot more about the Republicans that we're afraid could buckle to the pressure here. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please share this video, like and subscribe for more of this kind of content and information. And we'll see you guys